Welcome to Coffee and Handicapping with Scotty and surprise guest Justin Sampson. And we've got another one coming too, Brady Klotz. How are you, Justin?
I'm doing good, brother. It was so good to see you, man. I mean, it was such a great day yesterday, but I enjoyed getting to see you. We hadn't seen each other in a while. I'm doing good though. It's beautiful. Like I'm sitting inside. I just told you because somebody's jackhammering their patio next door else I'd be sitting outside. It's starting to clear up. I can see the blue sky right behind you.
It's gorgeous. Yeah, it really is starting to clear up, and it's nice over at the Del Mar Hilton here, and we've got a bunch of horse players here having a good time, and you'll hear them in the background. And they had a winner yesterday, though. I think it was I want to say the 6th race. They had the 2-horse, right? I think it was the 6th race. We'll,
yep.
You know how we do it. We'll do a recap of yesterday and just see how we did, what we could have learned. It was kind of a rough day. It was a lot of long shots, and you can see here. Just Cindy had this. I'm just waiting for Cindy to give me grief. I'm just waiting for it. Cindy asked me about this new part. She said, "Look at the 4-horse," and I looked at him like, "Oh." And then I said, "Nah, I can't win," and it won going away. So good handicapping by Cindy. Maybe she won't come on today and give me a tough time, you know. Anthony doesn't recognize you with your shirt on.
I have clothing on today.
We got Brady.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes. What's up, Brady? Can you hear us?
Maybe he can't hear you. We can hear him.
We can hear him.
Oh, no.
How about now?
You
got us now? All right. Well, so we went to dinner last night. We hung out over at the track, and Justin and Stephanie, his girlfriend, just got in yesterday, and they made this like 2-mile walk. You know what I mean? And hold on one second. I just got to text somebody, and I'll tell this story.
We're staying, about 2 miles from the track. It's pretty crazy. You guys can see it. I'm in this little pool house. So we're like, a block off the beach on Solano Beach, it's about 2 miles from the track. And we walked, it's about 40 minutes, but we're in this little pool house. You're not going to find a better deal in Del Mar to find a little place. It's pretty cool.
You've already gotten your steps in for this trip. 2-mile walk.
No, look at you. And how sweet are they too? Like they were like after dinner last night, we went to dinner over at the Pamplemousse, and Justin's like, "Oh yeah, we'll just walk." And then I'm thinking, okay, well, no, I'm not going to let them walk, but I'm not thinking it's that far. And then we drive, and we're like, yeah, keep going. I'm like, it's like pitch dark, and they're going to keep on walking. I'm like, thank God we didn't let them go and walk on their own. But yeah, it's good to have you both here on the show. We've got Saratoga. We won't be able to cover too much of Saratoga because I've got to be on simulcast at 1 o'clock Pacific. So, but let's try to dial in the picks. I ran the mock race for everything, and I didn't get a chance to look at it that great, but I did run it a little bit. And then Justin had sent me the workouts for Toby Terrell. He sent it to you too, Brady. You probably didn't have a chance to look at it. I don't know. I did look at it a little bit. So maybe a combination of the workout reports by Toby, the EquinEdge, and then also the mock race. Maybe we'll be able to come up with some winners. But it's tough. It's tough. Oh, that's right, Chris. There's tonight. There's I think 78,000, Chris, right? Pick 6 over at Los Al. So we'll try to sneak that in if we can. Bill, Marco, Steven, Ron, Vern, Anthony, everybody. Big shout out to them. So, what'd you guys think about the track yesterday? Justin, I know it was your first time. What'd you think?
It's beautiful, and we were here in May, but not at the track. And it was more beautiful than even I expected. It's so cool right there on the ocean, but just the grounds are awesome. And just such a cool vibe. It has that, and Del Mar is such a cool spot with we've walked around quite a bit and went and got coffee this morning. And it's just a total nice people, beach town. Yeah. Lots of surfer bums, it's very cool. And you go to the track, right? And everybody's just super laid back. I loved it.
Yeah, they are. And Brady, you did good the day before. I don't know about yesterday. How'd you do yesterday?
Yesterday I broke well from the gate. Then I got steadied, and then the last race kind of killed everybody, I think, with that 46-1 shot coming in. So it was good. I think the handicapping's there. I think that what we were talking about yesterday is just our ticket structure could use a little bit of an improvement for yesterday. Some of the horses that we had ran second, and we weren't collecting on those, but we know we're very close. And yeah, had a really good first day at Saratoga and Del Mar, and gave a little bit back yesterday. But man, I love the cards today. Saturday racing here, Del Mar, Spa. It's going to be a great day. I just walked into Del Mar, and so I'll be here all day long, just like yesterday. I cannot get enough of this place.
I know, and by the way, that's genuine too with Brady. I mean, he just soaks us up. Wait, what time did you get up yesterday morning to go to the backside and tell the story about what you told me and Justin about how you actually got back there?
Yeah. So I get up at 5 regardless. I mean, whether I'm on the East Coast or whether I'm on the West Coast. And so I'm like, you know what? It would be fun to just go to the backside again. So came in here and everything, got through security, and I'm media. So, they let me right in. And today I actually had to slip through a gate. Don't tell anybody.
So you actually, though, handed them, you said you were media, and you handed them an EquinEdge card, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
I handed them my EquinEdge, business card and everything. And, yep, absolutely. Come right in. So did a little interview yesterday morning. And so, yeah, we're back. Like I said, I can't get enough of this place. There's nothing like being at the track with you guys. And, I mean, with COVID and everything, we haven't been able to do it as often as what we are used to. And so every single time that we get to go in person is just so special. And like I said, I can't get enough of it, man. It's too good.
I know. Where's it? Oh, Saratoga's running right now, isn't it? Because they've got the video going in the background. They're not showing it, so they got TVG up here at the hotel, but obviously they're not showing Saratoga. I can hear it though.
The first just went off.
That's the best thing about being on the West Coast is that the races start so early in the morning. I mean, good races too. And then we ended the night at 7:30 here at the Del Mar. So I mean, I was betting races from 9:30 a.m. till 7:30 p.m. last night at 2 major tracks.
Yeah. Hey, who won that race, by the way? The 2-1?
Lascano on the turf,
Dripping
man.
gold. Dripping gold.
Lascano
Look at
on
that.
the turf.
Jockey trainer combination of 39%. And look like a first-time starter, Claude McGahee. What was the GSR on that horse? Oh, it was okay. 63, not bad.
Dripping gold. Shug's actually been winning with a few first-time starters recently. And I'm not used to him doing that. But 6-1, nice price. And Lascano is a guy that I think got overlooked a lot at the windows. He's usually at that 5 to 6 to 1 range. And on the turf, he's absolutely dangerous. I mean, he's one of those guys where you have to even use defensively sometimes, even if you don't like the horse, just because he's so dangerous. On the dirt, I think it's a little bit of a different story for him. But, on the turf, man, you do not want to get beat by him.
So Oldie had asked guys what the difference is between Keeneland and Del Mar. What do you guys think? I just said they're two different tracks, big time.
No MTOs at Del Mar because there's no rain.
Yeah,
I like that.
From it is totally different because Keeneland, right, is pure horse country, very beautiful. Like you get that aspect of the true breeding side and where horses come on the farm, and then you come here to Del Mar, and it's just beautiful because it sits on the ocean, and I love the ocean. You're not going to find anything better. I'm excited for the song, right? I missed the song yesterday, but
you did.
I
can sing it for you.
Yeah, I want to hear you sing it, but we are 100% going to sing it today.
You're gonna have to sing. I'll give you a little preview. Where the turf meets the surf, down at old Del Mar. Take a plane, take a train, take a car. There's a smile on every face, and a winner in each race. Where the turf meets the surf at Del Mar. There you go. That's how it goes.
That was perfect.
Right?
That was great. They should have you leading this today. We need to talk to John.
Have me there, right?
Yes, you should be leading it. Yeah, where the turf. Look at he said where the turf meets the surf is the graveyard of your bankroll.
I know, I saw that. Morning. Okay, so hold on. What did you guys give out? Hold on. Ice cold. Okay, we did have. Let's see here. Okay, so we didn't have the best day yesterday, but I don't know who would have had the best day yesterday. Bobby Bow. We tried to go away from this horse, and the numbers had it 4-6-2-4, and Scotty the baritone. I know. Let's see here. Hold on. Clearly Gone hit. That was second choice, so we were right there. The one horse ran good, but this was the race, right? We gave out the 9-5. Guys, I don't know, for everybody out there, if you didn't see this race, the 5 horse broke dead last as first time starter for John Sadler. This is one of the most impressive races for a first time starter I've seen in a while. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah. And was having trouble in the gate as well. Like I caught that last minute. It was kind of throwing his head around and she just wasn't super comfortable. And then they they loaded the 9 with the gate open, and then they broke in the 5. I mean, what was 12, 14 lengths back?
Unbelievable. Yeah. And then the way that horse ran, and then was in hand coming up late, got second easily, thank God. And we got the 9-5 exacta. Also, I wasn't particularly hot yesterday, but I did. My best bets have been winning. So hopefully that's going to continue today. But that exacta paid $4.50, so no big shakes. But we did hit the exacta here cold too. I know, Justin, you and I both like the 2-horse absolute unit, and Brady was all over Steak and Cheese, who looked tremendous on the track. And it did come in 2-1-7. I gave out 2-1-9, but 7 ran okay. I know you needed that, Brady, but the 2-horse absolute unit didn't have a great trip, but came on through the rail there, Justin.
Yeah, this was my best bet. I didn't handicap till we got to the track. I even missed the show. And when you landed on this, and then you had a tip from, I saw somebody earlier posted, but absolute unit here, just, if I remember correctly, the morning line, was 5-2 versus 5-1. And Gutierrez and Peter Urton on the turf, and just had been facing better and got like a nice drop here and got a great trip. Ended up coming up the rail. I singled here in pick 3s and pick 4s and had the win bet. I luckily went all in that last leg of the pick 4 and had the 8. But absolute unit was for sure just the winner here.
And Brady, what did you think about the 7-horse Steak and Cheese? I mean, it didn't, after that race, you didn't feel like getting Steak and Cheese, did you? But you did have a steak anyways.
Yeah, I did have a steak, but I didn't get to the cheese at the window, unfortunately. So I love the horse. I had a huge pick 3 going in there with the previous 2 races, and horse looked phenomenal in the walking ring. And you have Mike Maker shipping from the East Coast out here out west, and Mike Maker's hot as any trainer right now in the country, leading trainer at Saratoga. And so I felt like it was a great spot with Pratt out. Rispoli's kind of having his way, I thought, here at Del Mar, but he hit the board in 5 or 6 races yesterday, and so he's always right there. But man, when you really needed him, just couldn't quite come through. My 7 got the absolute perfect trip, and so the horse just wasn't good enough. And so I can live with that. What I don't like is when you have the best horse in the race and he just has trip trouble, it doesn't break well, or maybe the tactics were wrong. So at the end of the day, I loved how we handicapped it, but man, just wasn't quite good enough.
Yeah, and then lastly, before we go on to the card, the 8-horse in the last race, that race completely broke down because the 6-horse, who I really liked a lot in the race, Summer Rose, dueled with Katla. And what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, Jessica on the 9 went with the 6, and then they just dueled, and the race completely fell apart, which, the 1, you like the 1 in the paddock, Scotty, and I thought was going to win the race. And then was it Franco on the 8 just came flying on the outside just with that pure pace meltdown.
Yeah, it was that race just completely broke down, but I did not see the 8-horse coming. I mean, I still can't see it, but I mean, who's this Librato Baraccio? I mean, 33%. Anybody? I've never even heard of him.
I don't know where he trains out of. We need to find out, though, because winning 1/3 of the races, my goodness, shipping over here to Del Mar, I couldn't have gotten to this horse. This was kind of a 1 in 1,000 for me. But hey, like we had on Thursday, the all button just was one day too early.
Yeah, that was brutal. All right, guys, let's get on to this. The races today. God, it's such a beautiful day here. It's actually very hot, so it's going to be really fun. Dress lightly, definitely. Don't. It's going to be. Justin, you'll be wearing shorts and sandals, probably, right?
Yeah, I'm wearing them now. I mean, I might have to take my shirt. I might take my shirt off at the track.
All right, so do me a favor real quick. I got to answer this text. Can you guys talk about this first race real quickly? Do you mind?
Yeah, certainly. So first race at Del Mar coming up at 5 p.m. local time. So 2 p.m. local time, 5 Eastern. We've got a long day ahead of us. How about this? Allowance optional claiming. The races are ramping up here. Bigger purse money, higher quality races for Saturday. And we have 2 Bob Baffert entries in the 4 Seville Row and then the 6 Laurel River. And we got to see Bob win with Bobby Bow yesterday. And then his filly in the grade 2 was, dead game. But, man, congrats to Billy Koch and Little Red Feathers on winning with that 9 yesterday. That was a huge effort. I went down to 4 horses in this race. I went with the 1, 3, 4, and 6. And I'm trying to separate them even more. The one, I Got No Money, this is a Mark Glatt horse that Joe Bravo is going to ride, really has done nothing wrong and has been racing against competition that I think fits this level as 60 SORs in his last 2 efforts and just got beat by half a length last time out. And so I think the one, he's a top Scotty pick as a 63 GSR, and the EE Morning Line also likes him. The other horse I'm going to try to beat the Bafferts with is the number 3 Fatelli. This is Peter Miller and JJ Hernandez. At dinner last night, I think we all collectively agreed that JJ is probably going to have a pretty big day. I'm saying JJ has 3 winners today after I looked at the card last night. And so, I think Peter Miller is the leading trainer at Del Mar. This horse is coming out of better class than what the rest are facing. And he has a 65 GSR, which tops the 4 that I had chosen. And so I think the 3 Fatelli is very live in this case. So if I'm going to try to leave the Bafferts in the dust, I'm going to do it with the 1.
The thing is when I was looking at the 3-horse Fratelli, I want to make this horse my top pick. 1, because JJ is aboard. 2, if you look at the SOR, it's a 58. So I really want to like this horse, but I'm not sure about the style because there's so much speed. It looks like the 2 horse is going to ascend. Looks like the 1 horse is probably going to be somewhere near the pace, but the 1 can rate some. So, and the top Scotty pick is the 1 horse, training really good as well, at least on the workout reports. So, I don't know, Justin, what were your thoughts on this?
I struggled mainly. There is so much speed in this race. The Baffert horses are going to go. I think to your point, the 2 is fast. Fratelli has 6 wins and 14 tries. And the thing here, this is a 62. So, going to be stepping up a little bit from the past. I thought that the 1 was, Joe Bravo on the rail here. I don't know. That's going to be tough. The 4 and 6, Laurel Rivers, Cedillo for Baffert, and then Drayden Van Dyke's on the 4. I think that one of these Bafferts for sure could win. I'd probably take the 6 over the 4, I think. I have a feeling that I could see one of these Bafferts winning. As much as I don't want to see that, I for sure think one of them could win. The 7 with Rispoli was, a little bit
Guys, sorry to cut you off. I'll be right back. My brother's here and he's lost.
He's got his Preakness shirt on. Did you see that? What do you think, Brady, of the Scotty Longshot here with Rispoli? Is going to try to take back and come off the speed?
He's going to try to feast on this field. No pun intended, but 15-1 morning line, a little bit lower of a GSR, 4% win. I agree with you on the 6 as that being the most likely of the 2 Bafferts. Reason being is that you get Abel Cedillo, who I think is a top rider here at Del Mar, and the horse has experience, whereas Seville Rowe has just broke his maiden. Laurel Rivers at 3 starts now, and typically, I think Abel's probably going to get a little bit of a better amount than Drayden would at this point in his career. And so I think the 6 is probably the most live of the 2 Bafferts. But back to your point on the 7 Feast, EE morning line's 12-1, so we're getting a little bit of play off of the 15-1 morning line. I just, from a running style perspective, this is another horse that he looks like when he shows speed, he wins, and when he doesn't show speed, he really doesn't make up a whole lot of ground. And so I didn't think that this horse was as fast as the 3 and the 6, and so therefore I don't think the 7's going to get the lead alone, and so he's probably a fade for me in this part. But I really like the 3.
I'm curious on, and Oldie, you're saying the 4 can rate. Yeah, I saw the B+ works from Toby, and I mean I could see it. I think that either one of the Bafferts could win here. I think that they may just be too good, too quick, but I don't know. It'll be interesting. Can the 5 maybe rate? I mean, the 5 looks okay, Buckus, but I think, Oldie, to your point, this may be a Baffert race.
It very well could be. And so, I mean, I think I'm trying not to overthink it too much. But for real, I think that Fratelli could get up in the front, and we have to look at how the track is playing. Not necessarily a bias, but a speed preference, I would say. One race yesterday collapsed, and that's the only race in 2 days that I've seen collapse. And so, hey, I want a horse that's going to be within a length or 2 of the lead or on the lead here on any dirt race.
I would probably, as I look at this a little bit more, I'm wondering, I think the 5 could run well here. I think it will be interesting from a sprint perspective, and maybe can sit off the speed, but I don't know if it's good enough. And if not, then I can see, for me, it would probably be the 6 or the 4. I see Oldie the works on the 4 and one of the Bafferts.
Yeah, it's one of those races where if you have a strong opinion to single, you're probably going to get 3-4 to 1 on whatever horse you choose. I would assume that the Baffert's probably going to be the favorite, but we'll see. Very interesting race to start off a pick 5 sequence.
In Oldie, to your point, there is a little bit of a hidden gem there on the 5 in the work report from Toby. I'm with you. And if this horse, 10%, the morning line doesn't like, but if there is a meltdown or speed, and there's just so much speed, maybe the 5 is the horse that for sure hits the board but could pick up the pieces.
Mm-hmm. I could see it.
I got no money, so I got no money lost to Team Merchants in the last race. Somebody was asking that. That was a race here at Del Mar. Team Merchants had won a maiden special at Saratoga last summer, and then came out, didn't run on the turf, and then won that allowance race. So Team Merchants is not a bad horse. Scotty's controlling the screen, so we can't go to race 2.
Oh, switch it. No. Yeah, no, this race is pretty wide open, I think, but I'm just going to stick with the 1 and 3. And if I get beat by the Bafferts, I get beat by the Bafferts, and I'll play the pick 4. Simple as that. What is going on at Saratoga here? I'm looking. Saratoga race 2 is going off in about 10 minutes here. I'm personally waiting until the late pick, or till the pick 6 starts, probably in a couple of hours. But hey, I mean, huge Whitney day. I mean, I know we talked about on our show about the Whitney card, the test, and then a couple of the turf races. Man, it's going to be a great day. I know you're high on By My Standards. You think he's probably going to get the right setup. My question is can he pass Nick's Go in the stretch, going 2 turns, and is he going to run out of racetrack? Because we know By My Standards will eat up all the ground coming in late. And I think the 9 furlongs hits him right between the eyes. And this class level is, he's the older horse now, whereas before he was kind of the younger horse running against the classic types. And so, I mean, I think we're in for a great show today, whether you're on the East Coast or the West Coast. And I know I like Nick's Go, really like the 2-turn configuration for him, but we'll see.
You guys got sucked into talking about Saratoga, didn't you?
Well, we couldn't change the screen.
1.
Yeah, we finished race 1 at Del Mar, and we're like, well, we can't move to race 2, so we'll talk Saratoga. Flavian Pratt here riding in race 2 is my boy, and I think the 6 horse is going to win. That's my pick.
if Flavian was riding a donkey, is he still a single?
Dude, Flavian, we talked about this. We will stop the Saratoga in a second. Well, he's leaving, so we're gonna talk. Some of the people, a lot of you may not watch Action Hour with Braden. I bet. Can somebody tell me why Flavian Pratt is not riding in the Saratoga Derby on the turf? Can anybody? Like, it just makes no sense. Like,
maybe he wanted someone else to win.
I guess, like, if I was an owner, I would 100% be putting him on my horse. But I guess I have a man crush on Flavian. But he didn't change the screen. We should have had him change the screen to Del Mar Race 2, but he jetted off. Yeah, so Saratoga in
10 minutes. This is a 50,000 claimer. It is a tough race, though.
EquinEdge.
They brought their own jocks. Although Mike Smith's out there, why would Charlie Appleby using Mike Smith? Why wouldn't Charlie Appleby use Flavian Pratt? I just don't understand that. But this second race is Saratoga stuff.
He used Mike Smith on Antique a couple of months ago, and then Manny Franco got the mount. So I thought Franco was maybe going to ride for him. But this must be future Breeders' Cup mounts when they come out west. I think that's why Appleby's given Mike the mounts here. And he gave Luis Saez a mount on Summer Romance too. So I think these Euros are going to be deadly this year in the Breeders' Cup. And so I think we're going to see a few of them unleashed today.
So guys, who's the consensus here in the race number 1? Did we actually come up with one, or we just any ideas?
I liked the 3 the best. I still want a horse that's going to be near or on the lead at Del Mar. As yesterday, the last race fell apart. That was the only pace collapse that I've seen so far. So I know there's going to be a lot of pace here, but I'm thinking, who's the speed of the speed? And I think it could be the 3.
How about you, Justin?
I thought, I'm curious if the 5 horse had a little bit of an interesting work note, and Oldie called that out as well. I think the 6 and 4 are tough, though. I think the Baffords may be tough here. Whether it's Laurel River or Seville Row, Cedillo's on the 6, second Scotty Pick, 31%. Like, they both are working well, but I'm curious about the 5 a little bit, like just from the perspective of, can this horse sit off maybe potentially? And I think for sure going to hit the board. I mean, can this horse rate, is jumping up big time though, but only third time out. So lightly raced. And again, I think a little bit of an interesting little work note from Toby, I thought was interesting.
Yeah. He had a good note. Toby Terrell had a good note on the 4 horse Seville Road. And this one has a good EE morning line of 7-2 off of a layoff. And there's a lot of bullet works here. I don't normally like that many bullet works, but for Bob Baffert. But I mean, this horse, the workouts from Toby were spot on. I'm kind of surprised this horse is 4-1 on the morning line. But
yeah,
we talked about this yesterday. What do we make of that? Like, I don't think any of us know what to do with Bob Baffert horses right now.
I like the 6 a little bit better because he's dropping back down again a little bit from a grade 3 down to an allowance company, and he has a little bit more experience. And so that's why I kind of sided with the 6 if I'm not going to be able to beat the Baffords.
Yeah, the workout report for Toby is really good on the 6 horse as well. As a matter of fact, it was really good. But there's a lot of speed, it seems like, in this race. At least the post is good. That was a grade 3, and the horse has been off since, and the workouts are tremendous. So that's Bob Baffert as well. So Bob Baffert has a couple of them. I know you're going to play against the Bob Bafferts, but the 3 horse is going to be feeling a lot of pressure, most likely, from not only Notre Dame on the inside, but I got money is going to come from behind. I got no money is going to rate, I think, anyways. But it looks like a wide open race. Norm, good morning. It does look like a wide open race. All right, let's go to race number 2. We'll do a preliminary handicapping, and then we'll try to dial it in. What is up, Ron? Thank you so much, Ronnie.
For me, this is Queen Goddess all day with JJ Hernandez on the turf.
Single
as well, huh?
I think so. I mean, I think this is JJ's race to lose. I don't really see anybody else.
Did you guys see the GSR on this horse? 73, 8 points higher than the next closest, the 2 horse. They're actually, when you got the top 2 Scotty picks, top 2 win percentages, and top 2 EE morning line, top 2 GSR, I mean, everything is pointing towards the 4 and the 2. But I guess I'm thrown off a little bit by all the foreign horses that are in here. That can throw you off, but I don't think the workout reports have been that great on any of them, have they?
No, not from what I looked at. I just and that's how I landed on the 4 so much. I mean, the 4 is also working well, and only second time out. That was a 56 SOR here at Del Mar. Split foes, closed fast. I mean, broke 10th out of a 12-horse field. So was in the 2-hole, in the 4-hole here. I mean, this horse, I think this horse breaks it all. I just don't see anybody beating it.
And LASIK's on for the first time with the 4.
Go ahead, Brady. What?
I said LASIK's are on for the first time for the 4 as well. So I also
that's good. That's actually good to know. Well, what about the jockey trainer combination of Patty Gallagher and Umberto Rispoli? Because they're at 45%. So usually, unless a horse is talented for Patty, I don't think he's going to throw Umberto on there. I don't know. It kind of threw me off a little bit, but the workout report was actually kind of dull on this horse.
And the GSR.
Looks like a sprinter. GSR plus, as the 8 wants to sprint and not go long here. I mean, a sprinter all day. I mean, not great numbers overall, so you can be a little bit cautious with the low GSR, but GSR plus says this is a sprinter all day.
And no turf at all pedigree to speak of, really not that much. It does look like sprint as well. And Patty Gallagher usually he'll usually work his horses on the turf. So the other thing that throws me off a little bit is when you have a horse that is not been training on the turf, maybe the workouts are dull, but the minute you put this horse on turf, remember, Justin, that happened to me, and I threw out a horse, remember, because I missed the turf workout because I looked at the dirt workout, and I was looking at the clock reports, remember that, and I got thrown off, and it cost me like $40,000 in that pick 5 over at Gulfstream Park a few months back. So maybe this is the type of horse that all of a sudden is going to get on the turf. Maybe they know that, and all of a sudden, come on. So I'm not ready to throw out the 8 horse, even though the workout report is not good.
Well, it's bred for the turf. So even though the GSR is not great, it is for sure bred for the turf. To me, it just looks like a sprinter. So what about the 6 horse, the Scotty Longshot? Also for Michael McCarthy, Trevor McCarthy's riding. What do you guys think?
What do you think, Justin or Brady?
I didn't like the 6. I have a hard time getting there. McCarthy's struggling quite a bit. We have 3% win, and it's coming over from Great Britain. And, it was a hard one to get to for me. I really couldn't find a metric that I liked. I mean, the GSR is fine. The jockey trainer combo is a little low at 9%. So, they've worked together before. They are putting blinkers on and LASIKs on for the first time here with this horse. And so I look for this horse to probably show a little bit more speed than what he has in the past. And so this is an uncertainty for me. We're coming over from Great Britain, and we really don't have a lot to go off of. We have no workouts to look at either. And so I just thought that the 4 was going to be so strong here that I was willing to get beat by the 6 or the 8 with a single here with the 4. I just think that she's going to be so tough.
Yeah, I agree. There's no workouts showing, which is really odd. And the 1 horse, somebody asked about the 1 horse, but the 1 horse, the workout report is bad. Not a lot to go off of here as well. This horse has been here, though, for a while, and but the workouts have not been good. And you got Kyle Frey, Richard Baltus. I got a little thrown off by this. The EE Morning Line's not good on the horse as well.
Yeah, I think like we talked about last night, somebody has to be the Scotty Longshot in every race. And so in this race, I tried to simplify it. I was like, okay, let's look at the 4. Who can possibly run with the 4 if the 4 runs his best effort? That's kind of how I look at this race. I didn't want to overthink it. I think a lot of times I can start looking through all these horses, and we can make a case for any horse. We could try to say a positive, a negative here and there, but I really think it's the 4s to lose.
Yeah, agreed. All right, so all the metrics we're really lining up towards the 4 and the 2. A lot of confusion, of course, with the international horses, but I think we're going to keep it simple here and go 4-2. Not sure who I'm going to use for the 3rd spot, but 4-2 is the direction I'm going. JJ Hernandez is going to get possibly his first win of the card. I'm not sure about the 3 horse on the inside. I don't know the race is going to play out, but we'll definitely have to get back and look at the 3 horse in race number 1. Okay, race number 3 here. It's a $16,000 non-winners of 2 lifetime race, 3 and up for a purse of $25,000, and they're going 5.5 furlongs here. Justin, what do you think?
Yeah, I thought this was a tough race just because all these horses have only won once. You know, I looked at the 6 Twirling Derby a little bit. The second Scotty pick, you know, it's 6 second places though, you know, and one win. I thought was a little bit interesting is cutting back but hasn't shown a ton of speed. The one is the Scotty long shot on the rail here. Didn't look to have a lot of speed though, so I didn't love that. I thought that a little bit of a price here for me was the 8 horse. I thought that Musical Gem with Tyler Bays was really interesting because I think this race is wide open, and I think this horse can show speed. And you talk about Tyler a lot, just being a great jockey. I think he's going to hit at a price here. I know he hit at a price to open up the card yesterday, but he was my pick. I know it's only 4%. The morning line does like it a little bit, so I like that. But I think that Tyler here is going to try to get out of the gate, and I think has the potential to wire the field on the 8.
Okay. What are your thoughts on this, Brady?
I really like the 6 Twirling Derby here, and I've got a little backstory as to why. And so if we rewind a couple of months, I was out at Santa Anita for the Santa Anita Derby, and a couple of my friends, Dylan and Tom, own this horse with Billy and Little Red Feathers. And so I was there when they claimed the horse. And this would have been, if we go back here to Santa Anita 4-2, when the horse ran second. So we're up in the Little Red Feather suite, and we're cheering for the horse to run second because they want to claim it and run it back at the same condition. And so they're like, no, stop, put the brakes on. And the horse did, and they're like, yeah, this is like a victory for us. And so they claimed the horse. We went out the next morning to Glatt's Barn, got to meet him and everything. His name's Twirling Derby. And then I'm hanging out after we did our Derby show at the Monarch. I flew to Fort Lauderdale for a few days to see my family, Tom Dillon, and then go to the races at Gulfstream. And they're like, hey, we're rolling back Twirling Derby. And Tom's like, hey, can you pull up the GSR on this? I want to see where we're at. And the GSR took a drop on the turf. They started the horse on the turf, and the horse ran 8th. And I was like, hey, guys, sorry to break it to you, but I just don't think that this horse is meant for turf. And then the race went off. Is like, wow, like that's powerful information. I mean, we pretty much blew a race on the turf that we, shouldn't have been. And then they're like, let's get this horse back onto the dirt. So they get him back onto the dirt. He wins. And, that was a 40 group, so a little bit less. Then runs a great second, was, 3 or 4 wide in the stretch. I just think the cutback is going to really help this horse. I really think that he wants the 5.5, not the 6.5, to fit him right between the eyes. And so Twirling Derby was my top pick here. I want to see him win. I want to see him in the winner's circle. And I think that this is what he's meant for, is this 5.5 furlong sprint.
I'm a little concerned. The GSR drops from 63 to 58 on Twirling Derby. And then I know the horse is training good, but it does drop. And then this horse has shown no speed going longer, and now cuts back to 5.5. And if you look at the three tries at 5.5 furlongs, this horse has not done well. And then horses not showing speed or close to the pace are not doing very well here at Del Mar, other than that last race that broke down yesterday. But that's the only thing. I really want to like Twirling Derby today, but I don't know if that's going to happen, if this horse is going to be able to get up in time. But I do think this is a horse that's going to be in the money for sure.
That's why I went to the 8, because I really did not see a lot of speed here. And just from the way that I tried to look at this race, you should run Scotty, you need to run the mock race on this one, or maybe you already did. But I think that the 8, there's just not much speed here. And I think Tyler gets the horse out of the gate with Magical Gem, and you're going to get probably 8 to 10 to 1.
What about this Sigler? Because they're adding blinkers to this horse to try to show more speed. Not really the best breaker. Cutting back in distance from 8 furlongs, not showing speed. And all of a sudden, this horse is supposed to be good. Will the blinkers make a big difference? I don't know. It's first-time blinkers after 10 tries, and that's not too many races to introduce blinkers. But John Sadler, Kyle Frey, I mean, they are the top Scotty pick. Lukewarm has a 24% win percentage, which isn't terrible. What are your thoughts on this one, Brady?
Huge class drop for the 7, which is a positive. But if we click on the 7 in the handy view, let's look. He really doesn't make up any ground. Even though he's going against better horses, you still like a horse to at least start making up some ground in the stretch. And it just seems like this horse gets disinterested in the latter part of the race. And so for me, that's not a positive. I think that this horse could end up being the favorite or the second favorite because of the class drop, because of John Sadler. But I don't know that he's a runner. And so he's going to have to prove it to me this afternoon. But I mean, name a race where he's actually made up any ground in the stretch. It's tough to find.
Yeah, and at 5.5, that could be tough. I will say this, against a tougher group last time out, going 8 furlongs, the horse stumbled badly is what the trouble line says, and then rushed up, and at the second call was 3 lengths back. So, I mean, maybe at 7-2, and I mean, this is going to most likely, this horse might go off as your favorite. So,
his last 3 starts, he's had gate issues. He stumbled in the last start,
not a good
hopped,
breaker,
hit the gate in the second to last start, and then in the third to last bumped the start. I mean, so I think he's a chronic bad breaker.
Now, what about?
How about
Go ahead.
I was going to say, how about the 9, Scotty Summer Fire? I mean, gets back to dirt here, which is, I was just looking at Summer Fire, gets back to dirt, which is preferred surface over the turf. I think this horse is a player now that I look at the 9. I still like it.
This is the horse to beat.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, second off the layoff, comes off that turf race. You know, Bob Hess, the deal like this, I mean, is dropping. You look at that race at Del Mar last summer, a 56, way too tough, and it's now dropping here to a 48 and wants to sprint on the dirt.
Yeah, I would agree. And this horse showed speed going longer last time out off of a layoff, was only 2.5 lengths back against a 56 group now, and draws an outside post. This horse has speed in a paceless field and has the class as a 25% win. The GSR is a 55, and this horse is not that well bred, but is fine. And I think Bob Hess gets off the snide here with Able Steel. I think the 9's going to win this race, Summer Fire. I might make this horse my best bet. That's how much I'm starting to like this horse. It's starting to grow on me. Initially, I was a little concerned with that SOR of 44, and but I'm not really, because the obviously the horse went on the shelf afterwards, right? So something happened there, but the horse has been facing better horses, and that was not a bad race yesterday or last time out in May, off the layoff now. And I think this horse could be tough. It drops in here for the $16,000 tag, and facing much easier. Summer Fire might be the horse to beat here. And the workouts, do you know what the workout reports have been, Justin? Do you show anything on this 9 horse?
Yeah, totally. You know, a nice B- work last out. 5 furlongs was done without the need for real pressure. So
okay,
that's a fine work, I think. There's not a lot of work reports on the horses in this field, but I'm with you on the 9. Well, what do you think about the 2 horse? Not to win, but hitting the board here. There's a Bug Boy aboard here, and Vegas Moon. I'm wondering if can actually hit the board. I'd be curious if this horse can. I mean, it's coming out of Los Alamitos, and ran 6 furlongs, didn't run in a 42. But prior to that, when I go back before that at 1,000 yards, I don't know. I'm a little bit interested if in this race. I just don't love this race if this horse can hit the board.
I mean, anything can happen in this race, but you got horses you've got good horses like the 7 horse and the 6 horse that are going to be coming from behind. So those are more likely to be the horses that are going to be the closers. And this horse is not going to be on the lead most likely against these good horses. Never showed that, and has a weak class. So for me, 1%, 45 GSR going down. I don't like the horse at all.
My only thing here is from the perspective of getting a weight allowance, and then the Bug Boy's getting a 7-pound weight break, which is just huge. So I think it'll be interesting. But I hear you.
Okay, let's talk about the 10 horse, who's got a 5-2 morning line, only not in the top 2, Scotty, and but is 8-1 on the EE morning line. So we've seen, and we talked about this a lot last night, when you got horses like this that have low morning lines by the odds maker, and the EE morning line is saying complete opposite, these horses don't win. And this horse is drawing a wide post, but is dropping in class, coming in from Pleasanton. I can't say this horse can't win this race, but I'm not loving that 10 post, I'll tell you that.
We have not been seeing outside post winning at Del Mar. I mean, it is a rarity, especially on the turf,
You too,
the dirt too. it's hard to get over, and especially in these types of young races too. Yeah, like you said, Scotty, the EE morning line's more than double of the morning line, and so the system really doesn't like the horse. You get the DeSormo, who hasn't ridden for this trainer in a while, at the 10 post. It just seems like if everything is working against this horse, maybe this isn't the right day.
Yeah, I would agree. I know somebody just said, Kent DeSormo is not on the 9 horse and is on the 10 for Bob Hess, but that's a nice number. So when you're talking about the top 2 Scotty picks that we think are maybe vulnerable, possibly. I mean, I do a twirling derby as far as the distance only. I like the horse, but Summer Fire might be the default horse here, and maybe might be able to get by this particular group. And then, but you might be able to key the 6 or the 7 in the money. So I get your point about Bob Hess being so cold and not using Bob Hess. I get it, but it's not you're not going to shut him out. You're not going to shut him out, and he has that speed, and he's got a good post here. So, and the 10 horse is not that fast, so I don't see the 10 horse interfering with the 9. So that's what I'm kind of liking it. Let's real quickly, and then we have to move on. But let's just talk about the 1 horse, because it is a Scotty long shot. It's got a bit low on the SORs, and this horse has been burning money. What are your thoughts here, Brady?
He's been working very slow, and so I don't know how this trainer typically works his horses, but the workouts really haven't impressed me. These are crawls of workouts, and so as far as getting some gate speed, I'm not sure that they've been training this horse to do that, and as that's important here at Del Mar, and so I really wasn't that excited about this 1 horse. For me, it's the 6 and the 7 all day long here, and I'm just trying not to overthink it. Trying to make a case for the 1, but it's just not working for me in this race.
Yeah, and I got to tell you too, just for me, the way I was taught to play this game, when you have a horse like this, Hawk Hill, who's already fit, right? I mean, this horse has not missed a beat. The workouts in the morning don't mean anything. I mean, this horse is already fit, ready to go. All you're trying to do is keep the horses happy. So I'm just saying, I don't think anyways that the workouts here are any indication of this horse. I don't think. That's just the way I was taught. But
they're not making any changes. Yeah, they're not making any changes to this horse.
No, that's true.
He's like I don't know. I don't know that he wants to pass horses. That's my question. He did 2 back, but other than that, really just kind of goes out there and seems like he kind of regresses a little bit. And he was running on synthetic before. Now they've tried him on dirt the last 2 times. And horses that are coming out of Pleasanton, I bet one yesterday, and it wasn't impressive. And so I'm kind of questioning how the Pleasanton horses are shipping down here.
This horse needs turf, man. I mean, look at GSR Plus. Horse has never ever been on the turf. You look at GSR Plus. This horse wants to go long on turf all day.
Yeah,
we should claim this guy and put him on the turf and can route on the turf.
Let's see what the GSR is. I'm having an internet issue right now. It looks like we're very slow. Yeah, it's definitely got turf breeding, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Which is, I mean, they've tried synthetic, and then look at that. I mean, this is a perfect.
That's a claimable horse.
Yep. Yeah,
I mean, because the horse really does try. I do like the fact that he does try. He broke last time.
Look. I was gonna say, look how it's been running. I mean, it should love the turf going long.
Yeah, it really. Yeah, see, this horse in my mind has been being possibly mismanaged for sure. I agree with Brady. I don't like the horse personally, and being on the rail, maybe this horse, if the race breaks down and the 6 and 7 don't finish, then the 1 could get up in the money.
I'll take a selfie.
I'm with you on the 9. I still like the 8 and 9.
Don't you? I love horse players. Love horse players, man. God, it's fantastic. I tell you what, a lot of energy, excited. People just get pumped up for Del Mar. It's just, it's fantastic. Okay, let's go to race number 4. It's a maiden special weight, and we've got 2 Baffert horses here. Brady, I'm going to let you take this one here. Flying Drummer and Montebello. I know how much you love these Baffert first-time starters.
I love the 1 a lot more than I like the 7 here. Let's start with the one. It's the top Scotty pick, and it's also the EE morning line favorite with 19% win. The win percentages are kind of spread out here. I mean, you've got everything from a 19, 16, 16, 27. And so, it's shown that this race is somewhat wide open, but I think it's wide open to 3 or 4 horses specifically. And so if we look at the one, this is one of the Starlight Racing, Abel Cedillo. This is out of Curlin. So the hard thing for Baffert first-time starters is this horse going to be a sprinter, or is this a potential, type of classic horse? And so, with the Curlin, he doesn't have to win first time out going short. He might want to go 8 or 9 or 10 furlongs later on in his career. So what is the purpose of this race? I think, from the one hole, it's definitely a positive that he's going to send. And I always prefer a Baffert horse to be on the lead. And so I think that's his only option here. So I'm definitely going to use the one on my ticket, but defensively. I looked at the 2 and the 3 as well, Derecho Dandy and Forbidden Kingdom. These are John Sadler and Richard Mandela horses. You get JJ and Rispoli, who I think we're going to try to ride most of the day, at least JJ. And so I'm looking, Forbidden Kingdom was probably my second pick here. This is American Pharaoh colt, debuting, first time. JJ rides 38% for Dick Mandela, and so that's always a positive as well. I was leaving off the 7 Flying Drummer. This is the Baffert horse that's going to be breaking from the outside, but as I'm looking at it now, I see he's a gun runner, and gun runner has just debuted his first crop this year, and they are running lights out. And so You get Joe Bravo, who I really prefer riding on the turf, but this gun runner colt might be legit. I mean, he's had multiple winners for Steve Asmussen so far this year. So beware of gun runner colts.
Well, I can tell you, when I look at the one horse, it looks like possibly this horse is going to do better going longer, but you never know with the Baffert horses. So it does draw the rail 9 to 5 on the morning line, and the E morning line is what? Let's see, 8 to 5. So the horse is probably live. Also has top Scotty pick. The GSR is good as well. But Justin, I think I know who you like. Go ahead and talk about the 5 horse Forbidden Kingdom.
I love JJ on the 5 here. I mean, top GSR, Papa Mandela for, first time starter with this 2-year-old. But there's big works from Toby, and I trust. I mean, I haven't seen a better guy who does works, and rolled home in a final half in 47-3. And then before that, both B+ works, serious speed on display while under a monster hold. This is a sprinter all day as well, wants to go one turn. I love this, and you're going to get a little bit of a price, I think, because of the Baffert horses. Both those Bafferts want to go long, and I'm all over JJ in the 5 here. I'm going to play JJ and bookend, a pick 3 and early, and probably single him in both places in a horizontal. I really like the 4 on race 2, and I love him here as well. Second Scotty pick too, which I like. I mean, I love when you get that first time starter, even in a first or second. We know Scotty Longshot first time starter hits, but I even love it when you start getting it in the first or second pick.
Well, and speaking of that, and hey, Tony, speaking of that, you have a second time starter here in Aviat Class, who's been working good in the mornings. It's going to be better going longer, I think, though. But I think this horse is probably a must-use. But we did talk about this, and I don't have any data on this, but I've just noticed that when the Scotty Longshot chooses a horse that's run 1 or 2 times in maiden races, they don't do as well as the first-time starters. I don't know what that is or how I could use that information to better the algorithm, but that's just what I've noticed, so I could be wrong. So I'm gonna play against the 6 horse, but I do think this. I ran the mock race, and the mock race had the darn 6 horse winning the race. So I'm just gonna let everybody know that everyone's gonna have to make their own decision. I'm probably gonna leave this horse out, and I think I might just use the 1 and 5, the top 2 Scotties. But thank you, Anthony. But I'm with Justin. I think Forbidden Kingdom, what I like about this, we know that the workouts are good. We know that. And we know that this horse wants to sprint big time. And then it's the top GSR on top of that. So for me, I think I got to go with Forbidden Kingdom. And I also like the fact that this horse is not on the rail. But Abel Cedillo is able to get a horse out of the gate fast from the rail. We'll see. I don't love the rail, but I think 5 horse Forbidden Kingdom is the real deal. Okay, let's see here. By the way, which one? I missed that gun runner. Okay, so Flying Drummer, the 7-horse, and these horses have been running good. So, maybe use 3 horses. I don't know. Maybe the 1, 5, and 7. Brady, real quickly, you said why didn't you like Flying Drummer? You like Montebello better than Flying Drummer. Why is that?
So I don't believe Joe Bravo's ever ridden for Bob Baffert before. And so Abel Sedil rides a lot of Baffert's colts. And so I'm thinking of who might get the better one. I'm going to guess the 1 here. But, I like Joe Bravo better on the turf than I do the dirt here. And so he has a couple things working against him. In a 7-horse field, I don't worry too much about the 7 being the outside post, really more in a 10-horse field. And so I preferred the 1 because I think he's going to have to show speed. And you know what? It's hard when you're betting at Del Mar because if there's 2 Bafferts in the race, it's hard to keep your ticket equity where it needs to be by using both of them. You lose a lot of value using both Bafferts because they're both going to be 2-1 or lower. Right. And so I usually try to take a stand, and I hope I'm on the right side of it. Same thing with Chad Brown when he has 3 horses in a turf race. I try not to use all 3 of them. I'm trying to say, okay, which of these Chads is going to have the best chance? And if I can beat Chad, which horse outside of that barn has another chance to beat him? I think the same way with Baffert when he has 2.
So Oldie's saying that gun runners are 35% with first-time starters right now, which is tremendous. Yeah. And not to overthink this. I mean, he could be right. I think
you're gonna see that GSR go up as the year goes on with these gun runners. I think he's a 69 right now, but as he wins more and more, that GSR is gonna keep on rising.
Yeah.
I was gonna add. On the work side, like Baffert usually works these horses big time with bullets, right? And you're just not seeing it with Flying Drummer. Not bad works, but he's getting outworked supposedly per Toby, and I don't like that. Like, what's going on? So that's my only concern with the 7. What's the deal?
We're gonna find out in about 3 hours.
morning line likes the 7 though, 5-2, and top win %. So there's a lot there.
So, all right. Well, we'll have to come back to this and see. By the way, first-time starters over at Monmouth, and first and second picks came in first and second over at Monmouth Park. We'll take a look at this, but it's pretty amazing, guys. And we see this all the time. It's not even a surprise anymore, is it?
Nope, not at all. It's just kind of expected now.
Right? Let's see here. Sorry, guys. I'd be moving quicker, but I'm having internet issues.
You're doing just fine.
All right.
Do you have your coffee?
I'm having tea today because the coffee here is nitro, and I'm gonna pass on the nitro. Believe me, it's nitro. Let's see here. God. All right, so let's see here. Was that race number 2? Wow, this internet's really bad. Sorry, guys. All right, 2-7. So that's nice. The 2-horse first 7-5 on the E morning line. Rooms in business. And first time starter, 26%. And this horse won the race. 7-horse, second, Charging Arrow, another first time starter. And look at the Scotty Longshot. That horse actually got 4th place. And Summary got bet the 5, and that horse ran a good race. All right, so that's good stuff there. All right, let's get back out to where are we in race number 4? I think it's race number 4.
5. Race 5.
5? That was 4? All right. Okay. So I ran the mock race, guys, and it said the 5-horse Zippy Baby would win the race and close from the clouds, but really close. I just don't know how far back you can be, again, unless you get a big speed deal. But I think this horse is somewhat tactical, but coming in from Churchill Downs, these horses, we talked about this last night, they're not running very good. Horses coming in from Churchill have, I think, only one winner so far. The 6-horse Midnight Joester is probably the horse to beat. We know the horse is training good. What are you guys' thoughts?
I think there's quite a bit of speed in this race. I ran the race in my head. The 2, the 3 stretching out from sprint to route. The 2 show speed and is a Scotty long shot. And then the 7 Ox Bridge is also going to show speed. So you have 3 horses that I think need the lead to win. And so, I mean, I like those 3. Is it going to carry on? Like kind of the last race yesterday, we're figuring out, okay, was Jessica going to go with the 6? And she did. That changed the complexion of the race. Here, I think that Midnight Joestar absolutely sits a dream trip here. You got Phil D'Amato and Joe Bravo. And so, it hits him perfect from an SOR perspective. He's been going against this type of company. And I think his running style coming from the clouds is actually going to fit in this race. And so I see the 2, 3, 7 burning the wheels up front. And then it just sets up perfectly for the 6. So I think Scott would be the best closer in the race.
Justin, your thoughts?
I didn't look at this race till right now, and I think, Brady, you might be right from the perspective of the pace. My only question is so the 3-horse did show some speed sprinting on the turf. Is he going to show speed here now going over to the turf? I mean, I guess broke okay on the dirt. So, the Scotty Longshot 2-horse with Maldonado, and we're talking about Bob Hess again, is also shipping. So there's a bunch of shippers in here coming from Churchill Downs. And I know you and I, Scotty, yesterday, we had Bravo on that 3-horse and just didn't do well, these horses from Churchill. So, I could see, the 6, I guess. I don't know. I'm struggling a little bit. I'm still trying to figure this race out. But I do think there's going to be some pace up front. I don't know, though. I mean, I don't see somebody coming flying from way behind, though. I don't know. I'm struggling a little bit with this one.
So, of the speed horses, I like the 7 the best. Yeah.
What's that, Brady?
I like this. I said of the speed horses, I like the 7 the best to carry it on. If you look, he's got a bad trip note in his last effort.
Well, here's the thing, though. And look at Doug's putting this horse back on the turf. The horse broke last from the rail last time out, and he gave up real quickly on putting this horse on the dirt. And if you look at the GSR, it's suggesting that this horse needs to be on the dirt. But this horse has run good on the turf. Imagine if they put this horse kept it on the dirt. So I don't know why it broke bad, but it did break bad. Now he's coming back to the turf. This is, likely, he's like, okay, we broke bad there. We didn't run good. We tried dirt. Let's go back to turf. But I think they should have kept going with the dirt on Oxbridge. Yes, and this horse at this same level, this has run very, very good. As a matter of fact, got 2 second-place finishes at this same level. So, and even when the horse was kind of getting pressed a bit, the horse still ran decent. So, do I love this horse on the win? I don't, and I'll tell you why. 2 back, and now this horse has to go longer. But 2 back, the horse had an easy lead and still lost the race. So, and I think these are some decent horses in here. So, Oxbridge definitely dangerous on the front end with Abel Cedillo, but I'm going to try to beat this horse. But I think this horse is going to be in the money. And Trish is saying that Midnight Joester and Uncle Jeff are her top picks. What about the 3-horse, Justin, in Uncle Jeff?
I think for me, I mean, you don't really know here. I mean, only 3rd time out, wants the turf, seems to maybe, wants to go long or sprint. I mean, this is first time going long, stretching out DeSormo for Vladimir Serin. The problem that I have here is it seems to be some class here. And, I guess we don't know what this horse is. The dirt race you could toss from that post and, only 2nd time out. So was the favorite, but that was only a 44, that Santa Anita turf race. So for me, I need to understand that race a little bit more. And this was the big jump up. So could the horse do it? For sure. I'm starting to like the 2 a little bit on the front end with speed, but only from the perspective, my concern is the 7, though. And are these 2 going to go, or what's going to happen with the 7? I think the 3 has a shot, though. I mean, is 7%? I mean, morning line is spot on at 7-2, and this horse could show up. I mean, for sure.
So 2 and 7 are going to the lead, and they'll be going very fast. So you got Edmund Maldonado on the Scotty Longshot too, and they are going to have one way of going, and that's straight. And this horse against a 58 group 2 back over at Churchill Downs did not run very good. You got Bob Hess Jr., Maldonado. I don't like the Scotty Longshot at all, to be honest with you. I really do think I don't love horses that are going to be too far back, but I have to agree with Brady. I think that Midnight Joe Star is going to be tough to beat. I think the races, I'm really going to stick with, I think the 3 could run good. My picks are going to definitely be 3, 5, 6, somewhere in that order.
Yeah, I think the 3 is going to inject some pace in there too, especially going from turf sprint to turf route from 2 back efforts. When you have a sprinter stretching out, going longer, they show a little bit more speed than maybe some of the routers do. And so I think the 3 is going to even inject more pace with the 2 and the 7.
Yeah, no, could. I mean, the horse is tactical, though. It showed that going 6.5 furlongs on the turf. So this horse could actually be sitting right behind and in the garden trip from that inside post with Kent DeSormo and get first run around the turn, sitting behind the 2 horse and the 7 horse. So I think that maybe I wouldn't ignore the 3. I can tell you that. That's for sure. All right, let's get on to race number 6.
Another maiden special weight. We got a lot of babies running today, guys.
We do, and we.
I love it.
Well, we've got another Baffert horse here in Gold Rush Candy, who's a top Scotty pick, 7-5 on the E morning line, 28% win. Abel Cedillo's aboard, guys. We've talked about Abel Cedillo a lot quietly right now. Is Abel Cedillo going to have a good day today?
Yes, I believe him and JJ are probably going to each get 2 to 3 wins. I mean, Abel's getting a couple of great Baffert mounts too. I'm torn on this race because I like the 10 Haywan, but I don't like the 10 post, especially for a first-time starter. And so I think the 7 definitely has an advantage. And I think the works have been pretty good on the 7. So if he breaks, I think he's going to the lead. I'm trying not to overthink these races here. The 7 might be a single for me here, and it's all a whole bunch of first-time starters. 2 other horses, I believe, had faced others, but I really wasn't impressed with their efforts either. If I'm going for a little bit of a price play here, I looked at the 8 Joker's Boy a little bit here. We have a top GSR, and when we're confused on some races, especially these maiden levels, look at the top Scotty picks, look at the top GSRs, look at the Scotty Longshot for first-time starters. I didn't really like the looks of this 3 here as a Scotty Longshot first-time starter this time, but I thought the 8 maybe had a chance with the high GSR, and so I'm willing to take a shot on a 50-cent ticket with Brian and Edwin here.
Now, let me ask you a question. What was it about the 3 horse Arthur Spooner, the Scotty Longshot, you didn't like? Because these first-time starters for Scotty Longshots, I mean, it might be the best angle we have on in this platform. It's off the chain. It's uncanny how much these first-time starters Scotty Longshots win.
Yep. Well, I saw 6%, and then the GSR was about 16 points less than the other price play that I was looking at. And so from a ticket construction perspective, I didn't feel like in this race I could go more than 3 deep. And so I went with the 7, 8, and 10. I left the 3 off because Emily's struggling here at Del Mar to get wins. And so I felt like until she gets over the hump here at Del Mar, this 3 was just a not use this time.
Yeah,
that's for me.
Yeah, that I can understand that for sure. Yeah. Joe, the other thing too, when you put a bug on a first-time starter, for me, it maybe tells me that you're trying to get everything you can because you're a little concerned that maybe the horse has some talent, but maybe needs some more. So that makes me a little bit nervous on the 3 horse. And I definitely see your point definitely on the 8 horse. I mean, that's a nice GSR, 6 points higher than the next closest. And let's take a look at these workouts real quickly. I feel like I've gotten better at looking at workouts. So you look at the 4 furlong work, the very first one, June 14th, 39 to 73, looks okay. Then comes up with a bullet, right? and then comes up with a 2 of 72. Then they're just cruising from the gate, 12 of 58. Then July 11th, 7 of 41. Doesn't even feel like they're trying there. Then July 18th, 53 of 78. July 25th, 72 of 90, just cruising. And then August 1st, just cruising. To me, they already know what they have. And Brian Corner is really underrated. He just doesn't get all the best mounts, or the best horses. But Joker Bay with this top GSR, 4-1 on the morning line. I think I was just a little bit concerned about the EE morning line. You guys, I mean, 12-1 on the EE morning line from a 4-1 morning line. That does make me a little nervous. These horses don't win very often.
That's also true, and we've been noticing that. I mean, I can only think of one instance in my handicapping since we started using the tool where I missed out on a horse that was a higher EE morning line than what their morning line odds were. And so one instance in the last, 7 months is not bad. And so, that helps us with tossing horses. We all had dinner last night, and I said, you know what the greatest use for the tool for me is because everybody's a good handicapper. Some of us are beginners. It's helping you eliminate horses. So spending, $200 on a pick 5 ticket might not be necessary. Whereas you could have just spent 60. I'll give the example yesterday. My buddy Greg Olson, who's a EquinEdge follower user, had a $30 pick 5 ticket that hit for $1,200, and very tactical. A couple of singles, couple of 3 and 4 deeps, and boom, there it is. So not wasting horses on tickets that you don't need to use. That is my greatest asset on the tool.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, you have a horse like this 2-horse Freedom's Glory. I mean, maybe this is a horse you can just eliminate. It's only 2%. It's, but the interesting thing is, it's 30-1 on the morning line, but it's 8-1 on the EE morning line. I mean, maybe we could get a price here, and I'm kind of surprised. I mean, maybe it's by default only, Brady, but you're talking about a possible single of Gold Rush Candy. I'm a little surprised. Are you sick? Are you okay? Is something you ate? Was it dessert?
It's a normal. I had a Mountain Dew, so my caffeine level is very high, and so is my sugar because I don't get a whole lot of sleep, especially when I'm at the racetrack. Look at every gate work. Look at every gate work on this 7-horse. Every single gate work, it was first out of the rest of the group, and so I like seeing that. That tells me that this starter is ready to break first time out. So I am singling the 7 in a lot of tickets here. If I do go deep, I think I'm going to try to throw the 10 and the 8 on there. But the 7, it's a strong play for me here today.
And one thing we're going to be doing, we've been really good with picking the horses that look good on the track or in the paddock, right?
It's fun. It's so much fun.
We should do a show. We should do a show. We should turn on the computers, guys, and we should just do a paddock show on how the horses look, right? I mean, we could do, that's not a bad idea, actually. We could turn on the computer and just get going and get Mike to set us up on StreamYard and just go, okay, we're looking, and we'll turn the computer over and we'll show the horses and say, okay, this one looks the best, this one looks the best. I mean, that's the thing. How many horses, the only horse that like yesterday in the last race, I called that one. Justin made mention of that. I'm like, that one looks so good, 19-1. And that horse ran a huge race, but we didn't say the 8 looked bad. We just didn't necessarily see the 8, but that was a crazy race. But maybe we should do maybe we'll do a paddock show. I don't know. Each race, turn on the computer and just and handicap the way these horses look and see how we do. Maybe that kind of be a fun way to. I don't know. Would you guys like to do that? It might be kind of fun, anyways. I mean, I know Justin and Brady are like. But it might kind of be fun to just see how we do and just go, okay, this horse is looking the best right now, and then handicapping. But I don't know, maybe something to think about. But okay, so we'll move on. Oh, but one more conversation on the 10-horse Hay One. I think the workouts are good. As a matter of fact, you might have brought this horse up last night at dinner, Justin. What were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, really good work.
Too.
Yeah, well, and that I'm like, guess who's riding Hey Juan? JJ, Juan Hernandez. The 7 and 10 both have big works here. So GSR is a 56. But top that's the top here. I mean, a 60 on dirt. This is a pure sprinter here. So, this is where I don't know. I mean, is it tough on an outside post here?
at 5.5, even if you have speed. I mean, I think this horse is going to show speed and is a pure sprinter all day long. I mean, top GSR is at 58 at 5 furlongs and a 56 here at 5.5. So yes, not like this great bred horse. Actually looks to want synthetic when I look at GSR plus, but this horse looks to be a runner per the work notes.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it does. This one, I don't know. What do you think, Brady? This one looks like it could run. Juan Hernandez, John Sadler, they get the 10 hole. This horse looks fast. Looking at the GSR right now, the GSR is not particularly impressive, but it is 9-2 on the EE morning line. It has the Scotty second pick. I might be leaning towards this horse, to be honest with you, on the outside of Gold Rush Candy. I'm definitely not ignoring this 10. That's for sure.
I'm definitely using the 10 on a spread ticket. If we flipped post positions with the 10 and the 7, and the 10 was breaking on the inside of the 7, I would say yes. But because the 7's on the inside, I think the 7's going to get out early and force the 10 to kind of sit back. That's opinion. First-time starters, a lot to be determined.
Yeah. I don't know. There's something about this horse that I'm really liking the more I'm looking at it.
And Junior just mentioned Sadler owns this horse. So this is he bred this horse and he owns it.
Wow, he did. Look at that.
So this horse is, so these are Calbreds. So Bachelorette 1 is the dam, which he trained, so he must own her and he must have bred her then to Dancing Candy.
The only thing that I'm looking at that I don't like, and there could be reasons, I don't know, maybe I don't doubt the track was wet, but you see the workout from July 5th to July 16th. I don't understand why you would go 11 days. Like why? I don't know.
Well, but was coming from Santa Anita to Del Mar though, so that would be the only, I think you could, a little bit of an excuse is for some reason didn't work at Santa Anita and then had to get up to Del Mar and and had to get moved in and for whatever reason. So maybe it was just true. Yeah,
that's true.
That would be
true.
The only. Yeah,
that's actually a really good point, Justin. And maybe that was it. Yeah. Let's see here. And you know what? No, that might make sense too, because you went from Santa Anita to Del Mar. Good point. I guess if you see it a couple of times, maybe it'd be more disconcerting, but maybe that's not a big deal. No, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I'm agreeing. One, I don't know. I kind of feel like I have a little bit of a talent for looking at these horses. Maybe we do a paddock pick show or something like that. That kind of might be fun. All right.
And Bill mentioned here he's liking the 8. I think Scotty, you made a good point on the 8 horse though, Joker Boy, because corner could be a little bit sneaky here with Maldonado. Like I think for sure, and this horse is 12%. The morning line doesn't I think that's the biggest thing, but I have seen at Del Mar, out of any other track, that the morning line is when you have those big overlays, these horses do still win. Like it doesn't happen in other tracks.
We saw that yesterday, but okay, and that's a good point. It's the morning line's 4-1, but this horse might go off at 10-1 or 12-1. But the morning line was still accurate. It's not that the horse can't win. So I do think we need to make sure that we don't throw anybody off there. That's a good point, Justin, because it's just that you have Hey Juan that's going to get bet. You've got Gold Rush Candy that's going to get bet, right? So these horses are going to get bet. And so what's going to naturally happen is other horses are going to not going to take as much play. So that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah. Bill says maybe the 10 missed a work because of the heat wave. I don't think so.
He needed a break. He's like, I'm not coming to work today.
All right, let's get out to race number 7 at Del Mar. See if we can get through. We got 5 more races to cover here, and not a lot of time. And so don't forget to watch the simulcast. At 1 o'clock, I go on with John Lees, and you can watch that, and then I'll dial in my picks. Okay, race number 7, guys. Starter allowance $50,000. 3-year-olds and up, for a purse of $38,000. 6 furlongs is what they're traveling. Top GSR is Escape Route, 40% horse. EE Morning Line, I believe, was a lukewarm 5-2. Yes, it has a win and a third place finish against a really good 62 average SOR number, and is the Scotty's second pick. And Valdivia aboard for Mark Glad. And, Valdivia is kind of cold right now. Has a few second place finishes. What are your thoughts here, Brady?
Yeah, this horse was, this race was simple for me. I went 3 deep here, and I did use the 6, 7, and 9 defensively. Let's look at the 7 horse here first, Escape Route. I think this is the horse to beat. Look at the race that he's dropping out of, a 62 SOR down to a same race average SOR of 54 against this group. The system says that this field's actually easier than the last one that he faced, that he handled. And so I think that's a huge positive. Jose Valdivia's riding, 40% win. If I'm using this horse, I'm also using the 6, and I'll tell you why. They have been working together, and they have been working equally together. And so the 6 is also out of the Black Barn. You get Abel Cedillo up again. I feel like his name's come up about 3 or 4 times already today. And the horse is coming out of a long layoff. Really wasn't impressive in his last start against a little bit tougher. But since they've been working together, and I think, if horses are going at it in the morning and not one is passing the other one, I think that you have to look at it. And this horse is going to be a lot bigger price than the 7 here. So I didn't want to get beat by Glatt if I used the wrong one. So I'm using both Glatts here and the 9 defensively.
So do you know who's outworking the other?
What's that? Sorry, who's outworking?
They're showing that they're equal.
Yeah.
Like that last work on July 31st, they both show 6 of 55. Then there's a work July 24th, but that wasn't together. So they were working together there. They were just going equally. Justin, did the workout report show if one was going better than the other?
Yeah, I mean, it says that Escape Route won a team battle with Hollywood's Best. So, Toby said that the 6 was called second best in the team drill. He says the 6 likely needs some racing, and just said the 7 was an overall pattern's a tough read. The thing with the 7 is coming off the layoff here. So, did win at this level last November here at Del Mar, and this looks to be easier. So, if Glatt has this horse ready to go, this horse, Escape Route, definitely he can win. So I think that we just have to see here. I mean, the 7 looks to be over the 6 from my perspective.
And the 7 is not the top Scotty pick. The 9 took charges. What are you guys' thoughts on this one?
It was a defensive use for me. I want to try to beat this horse from an outside post and a short price. And so I thought that the Glatt horses offered some value there. Horse is coming. He came over from the East Coast, Aqueduct and Laurel, then is racing at Santa. They tried him on the turf, got him back on the dirt. And so I mean, this horse has kind of been around and done everything. And so if I'm going to have to swallow 9 to 5 or lower on this horse, I want to try to beat him because I didn't think he was a standout single. So for me, it was just 3 deep, hoping the 6 gets up.
Yeah, the thing is that it seems pretty clear to me that this is a front runner, right, Justin?
The 6 horse or the 7?
9 took charge.
Oh, the 9. Yeah, it looks to be, huge speed from when I look at the pace of this race. I mean, the 10 may show speed, but is not anywhere close to as fast as the 9. This horse was claimed as well from Peter Miller for Baltus back at Santa Anita, and then brings to
Del Mar here and looks to for sure be the front runner.
The 8 might show a little bit of speed,
It looks like, but I think the 9 is getting to the front end here.
What do you guys think about the 5? I was trying to figure out the 5 here. Coming off a layoff is Scotty Longshot.
Okay.
Does have a nice work, and I mean, could get a little bit of a pace setup, maybe. Looks like maybe if there is speed here and anybody goes with the 9, could this horse hit the trip?
Oh, absolutely. I'm all over this 5-horse Tribal War Chant. I might make this horse my top pick as well because I think there's something about Escape Route I'm not liking. I don't know what it is. But I will say this, the mock race had the 7, 8, and 9 winning the race, so we do need to take a look at the 8-horse. But Tribal War Chant training really good. Look at that work on July 26th. That's just a phenomenal work. Had a bullet work. I mean, there's only 5 horses though, so I'm not going to get too crazy about that work on July 19th. But then just coming back and cruising there in that 3/8 drill on August 2nd. This horse is training forwardly, looking really good for Jeff Bondi, Edwin Maldonado. I think this horse could be tough to beat.
Yeah, this is for sure a Scotty long shot play here. I love that you get the Scotty long shot angle as well.
Yeah, no, listen, it's always confirmation and makes you feel a lot better when it's a Scotty long shot. And I think there's a lot of horses that are going to get bet in here. So when you look at the EE morning line of 15-1 in comparison to the odds makers morning line of 8-1, I think this horse is going to go off at every bit because of the connections at 15-1. So it doesn't mean the horse can't win though. So, when you're trying to find long shots, first find vulnerable favorites. Is the 7 Escape Route a vulnerable favorite? I mean, the EE morning line's only 5-2, so that's lukewarm. You've got Jose Valdivia that's not very hot, and this horse has also been off since September of last year. So now that was a stronger SOR, no doubt about it. But I think
the question, I guess, is with the 9 with the speed. So, I mean, this horse is fast, but it's stopped the last 2 times on the front end. The last time at Santa Anita on the dirt and then also on the turf. But when you go back even to the prior races at Aqueduct, this horse stops every single time.
Yeah. Let's look at the 8 horse real quickly, but I'm starting to really lean towards the 5 horse Tribal War Chant. So, but this horse is very consistent. And got up against 9 other horses there to get a second barely, going 5.5 furlongs, 69 GSR, 68 today, extra half furlong, coming back at the same level. I mean, this horse has burned a lot of money at this level since breaking its maiden. You see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 races Holden the Luke has raced at this level, and to no avail as far as a win goes. Has been in the money though. I can't choose this horse for the win. What about you guys?
I didn't like it. It just, when I was looking at the others, I look at, okay, who are my A horses and who are my B horses? This horse could maybe fit into a B, but I wasn't willing to spread the ticket out as much to make a case for him. And so I think, maybe this horse against a little bit weaker could be there. He's going to sit a nice trip regardless. So if the 9's going to go and the 10's going to go with Rispoli on the outside, they're going to cross him over, and then he's going to be put 3 or 4 wide. So he's going to be stalking, but is it going to be actually a good trip? Because the 2 outside horses are going to cover him. And I never like it when a horse has to get covered up like that.
Justin?
Yeah, I don't love Scotty, to your point, has not been able to win at this level. The thing is, though, here, Brady, to your point, I wonder, though, the trip this horse is going to get. And this horse, he is in form, I would say, that has just been consistently racing. Did get a small layoff. Does have a nice work there at Del Mar on July 26th. So I think there's potential. I think that the 8's going to run good. I think that this – I don't necessarily love the 9 because the 9 is stopped with speed. And I do like the 5. I think that the 8 can run, though. I think that May has not been able to win at this level and is tactical, gets back to this level, and this just does not look like an amazing 54 race. So I think for sure fits.
No. Do you think we're going to end up ignoring the 6 horse Hollywood's Best and this horse is going to get the win? I mean, you can never account for a horse's heart. Maybe the horse needed that last work. I know that Escape Route was a little bit better in that workout than Hollywood's Best was in that July 31st work, but maybe the 6 horse shouldn't be a horse that should be ignored. I don't know.
I'm using him. I think Glatt makes the winner circle in this race. I think he's going to win 2 today.
Okay. All right. That's race number 7. Again, if you're going to be waiting for my picks, you're going to have to wait for them for the simulcast. If you're not able to watch the simulcast, you can private message me and I'll send you my top 3 picks. Okay. At Scotty Pick 6. All right. Race number 8.
That's all right. This is like hell.
We've got an allowance of claiming 40,000 non-winners of 1, fillies and mares 3 and up, $72,000 purse. They're on the turf here, Justin, going 8.5 furlongs.
Yeah, I really like the 3 here. Just Maldonado for Keith DeSormo is the top GSR, and sprinted twice on the dirt and ran respectively in 56s, and then goes and runs long on the turf here at Del Mar and breaks its maiden in a 56. This horse is 35%. Second Scotty pick. The morning line is 7-2 for EquinEdge versus the 10-1 morning line. I don't think we're getting anywhere close to 10-1, but I love the GSR angle, the win percent angle, and the second Scotty pick angle.
Shocked to see 10-1 on the morning line, 7-2 on the EE morning line. Yeah, no, I mean John White's one of the better morning line odds makers. So, but I don't think that's a good morning line. No chance we're getting anywhere near that. Second Scotty pick, 35%. Is that the top? It's the top GSR as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a 71.
Yeah, no, this horse is going to run. And, you know, when a horse wins first time on the turf, and on top of that, it's at 17-1 from the 12 hole. I mean, to me, that speaks volumes. I mean, this horse is just a winner. And you can see that this horse, I'm imagining, I'm not going to even go to the GSR Plus because the internet's so slow. But to me, this horse is a big player in here. So, Brady, what are your thoughts?
I'm disappointed. I just went in to play a pick 3, and the windows are closed. And so I'm trying to play the pick 3 at Saratoga here. Looks like I'm gonna have to do it on my computer. But hey, I guess there's bigger problems going on in the world. Who did you guys like here? I had to step out for a second. Who did you guys like?
Well, Justin's kind of on the 3 horse. I might be on the 3 horse as well. The 7 horse is a low win percentage. Talk about that. So a lot of people are like, well, should I use this horse? Well, you look at a horse like this that against a 52 group going 8 furlongs, 3 back, and then lost ground. But then this horse goes over and does what it did against a tougher level. Non-1 is a 3 lifetime group, and then goes gate to wire, winning easy. It was only against 5 other horses. Race before that, the horse showed speed, had an easy lead, and then stopped. That was a little bit tougher group. This is a much tougher group. This horse is 5-1 on the morning line, 1% chance of winning, and the EE morning line's 9-1. Can anybody make a case for so much happy? I cannot.
Based on what I know and what I've heard, nothing special for the 7 horse here. And so I was not using. I looked at the 4 a little bit. The 4's coming over. He's a wild card for me in this race because we don't know what to expect. Looks like this horse is coming over from England, I believe. First time in the Baltus barn, and it's a Kitten's Joy. And so these horses absolutely eat up the turf. Swallowing 9-5 is tough for me. That's why I'll be using the 4 defensively in a multi-race wager, but not a same race wager. But I didn't want to get beat by the 4. So I'm using the 4. I can see your guys' case on the 3. Look at the win percentage there. I mean, that's tough. Ken DeSormo, sometimes he rides like a bat out of hell. So you want that guy on your ticket. And so, I mean, I was looking, last effort was pretty good. He's coming out of a maiden 10-1 morning line. Everything on the system's lining up from the GSR to the EE morning line to the win percentage to the second Scotty pick. And so I don't think you want to get beat by this 3 either. What did you guys think of the 2 horse, the English Channel? He's the top Scotty pick. That's a nice GSR. Espinosa's riding, which, what we talked about last night is some of these older riders like Victor, like Mike Smith, like John Velasquez, they seem to want to take every horse to the front end and just try to turn away everyone. And I think a lot of the jockeys, I don't know if it's out of respect, don't go with them when they go to the front. This horse really doesn't show that much speed, so I wonder, how much, riding we're going to see early from Victor, if he's going to put the horse in the race or if he's going to make one run. To me, it looks like he's going to make one run, and I just haven't been seeing these older guys win from the back of the pack like they used to. And so I thought the 2 was maybe one of those favorites that you could try to beat here. So for me, it was really pressing the 3 and the 4. And then other than that, I looked outside. I looked at the Scotty long shot a little bit. Drayden's riding. And, this horse, he's been running against 68s and 64s. So it's a little bit of a class dropper here. And the horse is tactical. He sits just mid-pack. The works have been all right. And so, I mean, you could throw the 5 on your ticket. For me, it was 2-4 with maybe the option of throwing on the 5 as a Scotty long shot, just based on class.
Justin, what do you think?
I'm still liking the 3. Jessica's gonna send the 7 for sure, and we talked about the 2. I think is gonna get a good trip though, and the morning line is spot on at 5-2. Only 10% though in top Scotty pick. I still think the 3 is gonna get a great trip. I think that Maldonado or Desormo here, or Maldonado for Keith Desormo, is gonna just sit off. I think the 7's gonna be out front. I think the 3 gets a perfect trip from that post. You know, the 2 finished ahead of the 5 and 6. The 5 is the Scotty long shot, and the 6 is the price play. So when I look at the 5, it ran 3rd in that race. I think that with DVD here for Krajcek is interesting though as a Scotty long shot, because you know that was raced in a 64 and finished 3rd, and then came back and just missed in a 58 here at Del Mar. So this is a tough race. I think that Del Mar Drama, though, I personally are going to get a much better price than the 2. And I think that the 5 could really show up and improve here. The 2 is second off that layoff. I think I like the 5 to get a better trip, though, than the 2.
For me, guys, England's Rose has broke last in every race except for that last one, broke 7. Got second place, going to get a ton of pace and going to get 8.5 furlongs here. The GSR is a 69. It's a good GSR, but the horse has really got good breeding here on the turf. I don't know how you're going to hold this horse back. Comes back at the same level as last time. Needed that last race. Still had that trouble. Lacked room and close. So we're not watching the video, but I'm guessing that this horse, based on that lack room, was probably so much best in the race. I think the race is completely cold 2 and 3. 2, 3, 3, 2. It's just a matter of who's going to be third. You know, for me, I'm probably going to choose the 5 horse, the Scotty Longshot, and the 6 horse New Heat for the 3rd spot. But I'm gonna probably, my guess is I'm going to take 2 over the 3. I think that England's Rose is going to win this race.
I'm sticking with the 3.
You're going to stick with the 3? Okay. And okay, Brady's got the 4. Umberto Rispoli is aboard. How about, by the way, too, guys, let's just talk real quickly about this. We got 3 more races to cover. But how about by the way, in the 4 horse, the morning line's 8-5 or 9-5, but it's 4-1 in the E morning line. So I take that as a negative, but Umberto gets off the 8 and the 9, but I didn't think those horses were really contenders anyway. So it doesn't really make me that nervous. Okay. How about Umberto Rispoli's tweet last night? So, Brady, do you have that in front of you? Any way you can read what Umberto Rispoli sent out? And I really felt bad for him, actually, to be honest with you. After the fact, once we left dinner, I'm like, man, that's kind of sad. But can we let the folks know, in case they don't follow Umberto, what he said on Twitter?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got it in front of me here. He goes, to all the people are judging in the way I'm writing. Feel very strong behind your seat in your TV and talking bleep if you've never been on a horse. So stop tagging me in your stupid posts, wishing myself to die or break my spine. Every time we go out there, we risk our lives. We are giving our best every single time. If you are not happy, take your defeat as you do. And I would like to say, every single time I make mistakes, I never hide. My son is not happy to hear people wishing me to die only because they lost when they gambled. That is what he had to say.
No, and the thing about it is that, you know, listen, is he riding bad? I personally think he is. Is he not trying? Absolutely not. There's no way that's the case. And I think that people have to just make a decision whether they want to play him or not, because it is an angle. If a jockey's, you know, having a rough time right now and maybe not riding at his best, that can be an angle. So, but I agree. We're making a decision to bet certain horses. And is it frustrating when you lose a close race because a jockey's just riding poorly? Yes, but it's probably one of the toughest professions in the world. And so I have mixed feelings about it. But the fact that I felt bad because the fact that he reached out like that is telling me that he's extremely hurt. And I don't blame him. What are your thoughts, Justin?
Yeah, I mean, I think as a horse player, right, when we love this game and we love the jockeys and keeping horses safe and all of it, and to see that, it kind of breaks my heart a little bit because he's getting a lot of flack, and I think we give jocks a tough time, and I think part of the time we do it's jokingly and fun, especially with all of us on the show. Like, I think we have a good time and there's no bad will, but I think it makes me put that in perspective just to be a little bit more cautious, because they're a person just like I am, and I think it's tough as an athlete, right? Whether
the horse or the jock, and the jock is an athlete, and you know, to be putting them down and stuff like that, even if it not, you know, the gambling side, I get what he's saying, but I think I do it sometimes, and it makes me think a little bit about it, because he's struggling and he's frustrated, and like it's in his head now, and he's hurt, and like that's what I don't like to see. And you know, I kind of want to give the guy a hug if I saw him, but like I hope he has a good day. I mean, maybe he can get back on track, and I think that it would be awesome to see.
Brady, do you think it has maybe something to do with he was so freaking in fuego just a few months back? I mean, you couldn't leave him out, and he just made some brilliant moves. And so I think all of us are maybe holding Humberto at a higher standard, maybe. And the fact that he's, you know, cold right now, and you're relying on him, do you think that maybe that has more of an impact as far as the negativity goes?
I think so, because you get a lot of praise when you're winning, and nobody cares about you when you're losing. Unfortunately, this game has a very short memory. And fortunately, it's not what have you done for me in the past, it's what have you done for me today. And so we're very quick to criticize. And, you know, if you look at other sports, you know, people get criticized all the time, you know, in basketball, the NFL, for play calling, for, you know, a quarterback making a bad pass. You know, watch ESPN, they'll be criticizing them all day long. It's part of their job. And so, yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with questioning a jockey's ride. Obviously, we're not on a 1,200-pound animal going 40 miles an hour, risking our lives doing that. But, you know, from the couch or from the computer screen, we can actually see a lot. For instance, I relate it to golf. You know, when I'm giving somebody a golf lesson and I videotape their swing, I can show them things that they can't see while they're swinging the club. And so I think, you know, we're not on the horse, we're not there riding it, but we can see things that is supposed to be used as constructive criticism. And
so are you telling me that you can help my swing? Because I don't think I'm not sure that there's any help for me.
Or he should start riding horses.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, I think if I lost 100 pounds, I could get up. I could get up, and you guys could tell me okay, where do I want to go to the lead? Is there going to be a pace meltdown? I think the dynamics of handicapping a race are so cool. I mean, you don't get to do this in any other sport. You know, in other sports, you're like, okay, you know, are the Pats going to win by 7, or are they going to cover? You know, and in this sport, it's like there's so many different variables, more than anything else. I mean, all these things have to go right to win a race. That's why favorites only win 30% of the time. And so even for a monster horse to win, he has to break, and he has to maybe not get pace pressure. You know, there's so many variables. That's what makes handicapping so much fun and visualizing the races. And so I hope that jockeys use our system. I hope that they do that to prepare themselves, and I hope that they watch replays.
Well, you mentioned that the favorite only wins about 32.5% of the time, to be exact, and the average payout is $4.60. But I got to tell you, Scotty's best bet here at Del Mar so far is hitting at about 90% of the time, and the average payout is about $8.40. Just so you know, you can go back and you can check that out there. So you might want to stick around and watch for Scott, but you're gonna have to wait for it. You're gonna have to watch the simulcast. But Scotty's best bet has been on fire.
You know, talking about Rispoli, I was looking here at the best. I thought we were on the 9th race. Are we still on the 8th race?
No, we're gonna go to the 9th race, but I'm just navigating slow. Sorry, Justin. I have only had one tea. Why do you want to beat me up? I got a slow internet right now.
No, I was looking here at the 9th race as we were talking, and I only got through about half the card. We were sitting at dinner last night, and I was trying to handicap a few minutes with you guys, and we only got through like the first 6 races. But I was looking at the 9th race here, and you know, I think the 3 and 6 are tough here. The 3-horse Papa Cap coming from Gulfstream Park. I don't love the 3 working nicely. That is a nice main special weight race, and the 6 coming from Churchill. You know, we're talking about Humberto here, Rispoli. I think this 4-horse is a little bit interesting with Rispoli riding. Top GSR. This is a nicely bred horse. Is a Calbred here though, facing, you know, some other horses, but these other horses are nothing crazy, even though they're not Calbreds. He is interesting here. Both those Santa Anita races were nice California races. You know, one was a state bred, but that was a nice state bred horse. And I love that they come here. that Walter Solis comes here and puts Umberto on. I think Umberto has a chance here in the best pal is my only comment.
Well, when you look at this race, think about this. These horses are competing in a grade 2 best pal right now, and these are pretty much maiden winners, right? So I think they are. We're going to look at them real carefully, but yeah, maiden win, right? Okay, the non-graded stakes win up there, up north. Maiden win. So, I mean, how this is one of some of the hardest racing to try to handicap because you just don't know. I think the 3-horse Papa Cap. You said you don't really like it, Justin. 9-5 on the E Morning line. Top Scotty pick, 29% win. Horse won for fun first time out. Is there a reason? It was back in May over at Gulfstream Park. Mark Cassie's not really been that hot here at Del Mar. I'm not even sure he has a win, actually. Maybe one. Why don't you like this horse?
Not that I don't like. I think the 3 and 6 are both players, both shippers here, and I think both can win. They're working great. Both of those maiden wins were nice maiden special races. I went back and looked at the races. I just think that the 4, I was saying with Rispoli riding as a Calbred, I think as a player here potentially because both those Santa Anita races from the 4 were nice maiden special weight races. I think the 3 and 6 for sure can win. This is a very tough race was my perspective, and I think a lot of horses can win this race, including the 3 and 6.
Brady Phineas has this Calbred barely got up, bumped to the start, reeled info, it says, in the trouble line. That was back in June over at Santa Anita, going 5 furlongs. Now gets 6 furlongs. It looks like the distance is going to help this horse. Goes from a 69 GSR, 5 points higher to a 74 GSR. But that was a state bred group, okay? And now has to face this open company group here in the best pal. How do you approach races like this? I mean, you have to consider that was a California bred race, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and when you're going against your own state-bred company versus open company, it's like a night and day difference. It's like when I played basketball, I was on the B team, and then all of a sudden I got moved up to the A team, and I was like, why am I not playing anymore? Move me back down to the B team so I can actually get on the court. That's how I look at open company versus state-bred if you're not dominating your own state-breds. And so for me, I did look at the 4 a little bit. My 2 picks were the Peter Miller horses. I think this is Peter Miller City here today in this grade 2. I looked at the 1 and I looked at the 6. I actually prefer the 6 a little bit better. And as far as a morning line perspective, I'm getting a little bit better of a price, a 4-1 instead of a 5-2, based on the track announcer's morning line. And so I look at the GSR here on the 6. And it's a 66, so
it's good.
It's a fine one. It came out of a 70 last time going 5 furlongs, and really, when I use the GSR, I use it more to determine if a horse is a sprinter or if he's a router. So going from 5 to 6, I kind of average out the 2 numbers, and so I think he's got a good GSR for sprinting. I like that he gets Juan Hernandez. Sorry, the background noise is trying to get through the background noise.
I know.
The 1 bet on Mookie, this horse also shows a lot of speed on turf. Now they're coming back to dirt, and the GSRs are about the same for this horse, turf or dirt. So I really don't think it matters what surface for the 1. I think one of these Peter Miller horses is going to win this race, and I like that the 1 shows speed and the 6 can come off.
Yeah, I know that was a little bit rough right there. Sorry, guys. So the only thing I will say to that, though, and I caught most of what you said, was that the horses are not really coming in doing very well from Churchill Downs. But this horse did win easy and won from the rail. It has a good GSR. It goes down a little bit, but that was a good group. But I think they're all kind of dealing with the same thing. They're all facing some tough competition here. They're all moving up in class. So I think that it's a wide open race. The 7-horse outside post, I felt like gave this horse some hope. The 3-horse seemed live, and then the mock race had the 4 and the 6-horse winning. So basically, I have no idea who's going to win this race. So I'm going to have to make a last-minute decision myself. Justin, real quickly, you like Phineas? Is that what you're going to go with here?
I do like JJ on the 6 as well, but I was trying to have a little bit of a feel-good story for Humberto Rispoli, and I love that the mock race has the 4. I think the 4 is a player. I think really could show up, but I'm 4 and 6.
4 and 6. All right, so you're with the mock race. All right, let's go to race number 10. 2 more races to go, and let's see what we can find here. in race number 10. So the mock race had 3-4-1. I'll tell you that. I had 8-9-3. And I've got a note that on the 4 horse that the horse is training really good, and you can't ignore this horse. 8-1 in the EE morning line is 4-1 on the regular morning line. Based on the wide openness of this field, I think that I'm not worried about the morning line. Top GSR, here's the thing. You've got a top GSR of the 8 horse. You have a good average SOR, the second top of 70. Been in the money in all two lifetime races going the surface and distance of 8.5 furlongs on the turf. Earned 145,000, which is tops in the field. And this horse is 8-1 in the morning line and has a 31% win percentage. Brady, but is not in the top 2 Scotty. What do you make of this? Nor is it a Scotty long shot, and it could have been, because the Scotty long shot is always looking for horses 6-1 on the morning line or above. What do you make of the 8?
The 8's interesting. Okay, Princess Grace, DeSormo, Stidham, coming out of grade 3s, and so this horse is, I don't know, it's a toss-up for me. The workouts have been absolutely outstanding. It wasn't the top selection for me. I know the win percentage kind of scares me, but the GSR is a little low, and the class level is a little low compared to the rest of these as well. And so I looked at 3 horses here. I looked at the 3 Charmaine's Mia, I looked at the 4 Dog Tag, and the 9 Maxim Rate as being my top contenders in here. And let's look at the number 4 Dog Tag. This is an old Chad Brown runner. And so Chad sent this horse over to run out west, and then he goes to a different barn from Richard Mandela. You get Rispoli riding on the turf, and this horse is, look at who he's faced. He ran in the grade 1 back in Del Mar back in August of last summer. And, ran 5th, but that was an 82 SOR. This horse is dropping back down to a 76. He shows tactical speed. He's gone 10, he's gone 8. And I think the 8 furlongs to 8.5 is the distance that absolutely fits this horse between the eyes. And so I definitely liked the 4. I'm going to be using the 4. The 3 scares me half to death. I mean, this horse is going to just get out there and go on the front end. And this horse is also coming out of a grade 1 race. So, we get to a grade 2. This is a strong grade 2, but I definitely want a horse that's going to be on the lead at this Del Mar racetrack. And Joe Bravo's on as well. And so this horse is going to say, catch me if you can. And he's going to try to turn him away. He's a 2-time grade 2-time grade 2 winner and a 1-time grade 3 winner. So we know that this horse is capable, more than capable. And then the other horse I used was the 9 Maxim Rate. This is Juan Hernandez again. That's been popping up quite a bit today for us. And he's coming out of a grade 1 win as well. So this is just a class play for me with the 3, 4, 9. I think they're the 3 horses to beat.
And Justin, the long shot, Scotty Longshot, keeper of the stars. What do you make of a horse like this? Won the Gamely back in 2020. So last year, that's a grade 1 race. Then comes back literally a month later in the Wilshire and loses that race. It's a grade 3. I mean, and then barely wins an allowance race, loses the grade 3 San Franciscan on April 24th. What do you do with this horse?
Yeah, I mean, in looking, the horse wants to be close. And, when you look at that Santa Anita race, it looks like in a 10-horse field broke 8th, and sat off the speed. There's a lot of speed in this race. I think we're going to have a huge hot pace. So I think with Keeper of the Stars for Johnny Wong, it's going to depend on where Cedillo can sit here. I think my concern, I guess, is I don't want this horse way up close on the speed because I think there's going to be such a hot pace. I think if Keeper of the Stars can sit mid-pack here and Cedillo can give it just a nice, comfortable ride, I think can actually come on and potentially has a shot here for sure. I think this is a tough race. I mean, when I was looking at it, mainly because a lot of these horses are similar, and from a class perspective, and the pace I think is going to be hot. For me, I want somebody coming off the speed here, off the pace with the late kick. I think it's going to get a perfect setup, but I don't want him flying from back. That's why I think Keeper of the Stars, if can sit mid pack, I think has a shot. I was also looking at the 1 a little bit to see, can Trevor McCarthy for Baltus here get a nice trip? I mean, just missed in the Gamely there at Santa Anita last out. Like, there's going to be a hot pace here, so I wonder with the 1 here with McCarthy is a little bit interesting. I didn't get a chance really to look at this much, but I think the 6 has a shot coming off the speed.
Well, it's a grade 2 winner as well. It lost in the Gamely back in 2020 barely, and then comes back and barely lose again. Didn't run well in the grade 1 matriarch, but then went on the shelf. So something happened there. But this is a really, really nice horse. I leave out this one horse at your own peril. Also, the mock race had this one horse right there. The 4 horse that had the mock race had the 4 horse dog tag, and we talked about that one a little bit. And of course, look at this. I mean, the Clement Hirsch, like Brady mentioned, didn't run good in that race. So, but in the grade 2 Royal Heroine, this horse barely lost against 7 other horses. Goes off at 50 cents on the dollar in the non-graded stakes race last time, guys. That always throws me off. You know, and here's the thing though about Richard Mandela. He might not have had this horse ready to go. He might not have, right? So he might have just said, you know what, we're going to give him that race and we're going to point towards this grade 2 yellow ribbon. And so from that perspective, I would not, Rispoli's aboard. From that perspective, you know, the fact that the horse was, you're talking about a really nice horse. The fact that it was 2.5 lengths in front at the stretch and then lost tells me that maybe that horse just got tired. So I would not give up on dog tag at all.
Well, and working real nice. I'm with you on the 4. I love the mock race here with the 4 and 1. I really do.
Is Maxim Rate going to be the favorite in this yellow ribbon? I think it's between the 9 and the 4 for favoritism. I think. I think it's going to be a lukewarm price. I think it's going to be 2-1.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, 7-2 on the morning line. Juan Hernandez is one. What's the over under? You said 2. I think Juan could win 3 races today.
I'm with you. I think he can.
I think Abel Cedillo is going to win 2 or 3 of those.
I agree. I'm on the Abel Cedillo and Juan Hernandez, JJ Hernandez. I'm on their bandwagon today. I'm going to be. There's not one horse of theirs I'm going to leave out. Not one today. All right. We talked about Princess Grace, where I don't think we're really liking that horse that much. We talked about the 9. We talked about Charmaine's Mia here in the yellow ribbon. Real quickly, if we just go over that horse one more time. This horse is very, very fast, but we also talked about Keeper of the Stars being somewhat fast. Do you see any which way this horse is kind of rateable too, as a matter of fact, Charmaine's Mia. This is a very nice horse. What happened in the Gamely last time out? I don't know how fast the pace was, but did she not like 9 furlongs? Maybe is that the problem? I mean, because she did drop in GSR a little bit from the 70 to a 67, but I mean, she seemed to have everything going her own way and it just stopped.
I mean, it says
I'm
she
not
set
sure.
the pace, maintained a short lead in and around the second bend, roused at the top of the stretch, lost the lead inside the furlong pole, and yielded in the final 16. It looks like she just stopped, man. I was trying to find the fraction.
Maybe she's a miler. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm kind of leaning towards Charmaine's Mia as a miler. If you look at that, it would make sense. I mean, mile barely hung on. Also in the Buena Vista. Okay. Grade 3, 6 furlongs. That was easy for her. So she's definitely a classy individual. But now she has to go 8.5 furlongs. Maybe 8.5 is too much for her. I'm going to play against her today.
They were going quick in that race. 22 and 4, 45 and 4, 109 and 4. So, but and I think there's going to be a hot pace here. I mean, the 2 is fast. I mean, I that's my concern with her. I think, to your point, Scotty, doesn't want to go 8.5, and I think the pace is going to be too hot for her.
Yeah. That's a good point. Pace hot and distance limitations. But she's a nice one. There's no question. She is a classy individual, but maybe worth trying to beat here. Maxim Rate, if it's going to get up, it's going to get up just in time. I think Dog Tag's going to run a heck of a race. I really do. Keeper of the Stars should be right there. Whether it's going to be good enough, who knows who's going to show up. Is there a long shot here? I want both of you to give me one horse. And I know I'm throwing you on the spot. You probably haven't even looked, but we do need, for me, it's going to be the one horse as my long shot. That's what I would take. Who's going to be your long shot in this race, Brady?
I have a huge long shot in the next race, but if you're making me choose one here, you chose Keeper of the Stars. You said the Jonathan Wong horse.
I'm taking Bodachita. the one
I'm
horse
doing
is my long.
Keeper of the Stars, the 6. Long ships this horse down, and I guess Abel Cedillo is my favorite jockey today. Apparently, he's just all the horses I'm looking at seems like he's got a mount on, and this horse he can sit just off of the pace, and so he was in the Grade 1 Gamely. Looks like he just kind of flattered in the stretch a little bit, but this is a level of depending on what happens up front. I mean, this horse is going to get low looked. You're probably going to get something double digits on this horse, and it's a price play.
Yeah. And you, Justin? I would imagine Dog Tag or Princess Grace. I mean, I think Dog Tag might show up here, making that angle with the 4-horse needing that race.
I would say the 1 or the 4 for me. I was trying to look at the 5 a little bit, but I don't really like the 5, and I like the angle on the 6 though too. But for me, it's the 1 and 4 for a long shot. So they're actually that would be my top 2 picks. Would be the 1 and 4.
All right, moving on to the last race, race number 11. By the way, guys, we're trying to get through this card fast, so I know we haven't chatted much in this show, and it's been noisy, so apologize for that. But I literally tried to find a place, guys. I could not find any place in this hotel that had where I could plug in to a socket anywhere, and this was the only spot. So it was a little bit rough. So sorry about that. I want to start with the Scotty long shot here, Justin. The 3-horse blinkers are added to this one. It's a top GSR, lukewarm, but it is a top GSR in 1 try at the surface and distance of 5.5 furlongs in the dirt. It does have a second place finish against a 50 average SOR. This is a 44 group. I think My Tigress is a horse you cannot ignore.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Cutting back here from 6 to 5.5, I think we'll be okay. I mean, has shown speed in the past, didn't show speed last out, but the only concern, I guess, is has burned a ton of money. Versus tougher, though. I mean, has been facing tougher, but I think for sure as a player, this is a tough race. Like, reminds me of yesterday, that last race. I think this race is wide open.
Yeah, you, Brady, what do you think?
So my long shot play of the day is the 11. Call me crazy, but this horse is probably going to be 25, 30 to 1 or higher. What I like here is the cutback in distance. This horse has showed speed going in every single start of his career, and he's a speed and fade type. But he's gone 6 furlongs, and he's gone 6.5 furlongs. So maybe the 5.5 is just the maximum that this horse wants to go. And I mean, I'm not playing like a win bet on this horse. I'm just including in a 50-cent multi-race wager. Maybe he can get loose on the front end and actually take him the distance at 5.5 versus 6.5, where he's been speed and fade. But I mean, this horse is fast, and he's going to be a price. So in a wide open race like this, I'm going to take a shot. Maybe this is the one in the pick 6 that gets us the payout. Who knows? But I had to look at the 11 there. I'm trying to beat the favorite, the one Sweet and Cheeky. Nothing really impressed me here. I know it is a little bit of a class dropper. It's the Mark Glatt barn, but when a horse doesn't show speed and is breaking from the lead post, it's an immediate red flag for me. Because, like I said earlier, I don't like it when horses get covered up. They get pushed back, shuffled back, and then all of a sudden they're in the 6th or 8th spot, and they've got to make a run on the outside. So I don't think that this horse is going to get the best trip today.
Hey, somebody good job, Brady. This is handicapping. Look at. Do you think they need EquinEdge or not? That's the handicapping they're doing. This looks like Les O'Naka's picks. Like when I worked with Les O'Naka, believe it or not, it was worse. He had different colors and ink and stuff like that. But these are old-time handicappers. Been doing it a long time. Hold on.
Good luck today.
All right, you too. All right, you too. Okay, go ahead, Brady. Finish what you're saying.
So yeah, I'm using the 11 defensively, but the 12 is really the horse to beat. It's the top Scotty pick. It's a 7-2 morning line. I think I'd take this horse even if he was 2-1. Coming out of a maiden claiming that was a 52R, going 6, lost by 6 lengths last time out, but no shame first time out. If he improves at all or runs his last race, it's going to be good enough to win this with the 12. So I'm probably singling the 12 in most tickets, but I'm going to use the 11 as a backup in a spread. But I'm against the 1. I'm very against the 1.
Yeah, well, that is a big drop though, from 48 to 44. That's a big drop, and the GSR does drop as well. So the competition, you like to see the competition drop from 48 to 44 for sure. but you don't like to see the GSR drop from 62 to 58. So don't like that. There's a 44 group there. There is an interesting horse in here. I hate the post. Absolutely hate it. The 11 is fast, like Brady said. Justin, I have a note on Uncaged Kitty, the 12 horse. I mean, I hate the post draw. Really sucks. This horse broke bad, rushed up, ran huge, and got second place. Honestly, any other post, this would be my best bet of the day.
Yeah, I see it. This is a big drop as well. This is, going from 50,000 maiden claimer to 20. I'm surprised that they're dropping here after a race like that. I mean, I didn't have that note, but when I hear that, this is the winner from my perspective. The post is tough though. I think the main concern here, there is a lot. I think there's going to be some speed here. The 10 and 11 are going to have speed. So I don't know what the 12 is going to do. It can't get hung wide. So it's going to have to try to work out a trip here and not get hung wide the whole race. That's where I'm wondering if somebody on the inside maybe surprises here and works out a nice trip.
Yeah, by the way, too, that horse had trouble was waiting as well on horses, and now hasn't been seen since April. Now comes over here and drops. I don't think I saw the workout reports on this 12 horse. Were there any?
B- work, basic test drive when getting acquainted to the Del Mar surroundings.
Okay, so they weren't even asking. I mean, maybe they already know what they have. I mean, I don't know. There's definitely gaps in these works, which I'm not liking too much. I don't know. It's a tough one. June 19th to June 30th, that's 11 days. And then they go 9 days, and then they go 8. And then from July 17th to August 1st, maybe there's a workout missing in between there. I don't know. But
the 8 horse is a first time starter with a little bug boy on, and it is 8%. Does also have a nice little B work from Toby, possible key drill for this level when showing off pace while holding it together quite nicely. A little bit interesting. You put the bug boy on here, man, and try to pick up that weight allowance. This is not a great field, and when you have that speed on the outside and the 12 looking like the horse to win is this 8 horse is 8%. I mean, I think this horse for sure could use in verticals 100%.
I agree with you, by the way. I think the 8's sneaky, and a race where we've said, okay, the 11, they got that post, but it is fast. Then you have the 12 horse who's dropping big in class, and this one, who knows? I mean, this horse could win by if the 12 won by 10, I wouldn't be surprised. So the 12 has to be used. I tell you that. The 1 horse is dropping. That 1 horse coming on the dirt. I mean, this horse could be good. The 3 horses, Scotty Longshot, we made a case there. I would agree with you on the 8. This is a really, really wide open race. I've got my work cut out for me because I still have to dial in what my picks are going to be here. So we're going to call the show at this point. And everybody, thank you for watching. Hopefully it was helpful. Brady, Justin, thanks for helping me out today. It certainly helped. And then I'll see you guys over at the track. I'm going to be there probably around same spot, guys, probably around 12:35, 12:40.
All right, I'm heading
anywhere.
out shortly.
Yeah,
I'll text you guys.
Day. And tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
All day.
And then if you want to get my picks, my top 3 picks, then you can go to watch the simulcast on your ADW. Just go to Del Mar or go to dmtc.com and go to simulcast and wagering, and you can watch the show. Okay, guys? So thank you so much. Thanks, everybody, for watching. And then I'll be back here tomorrow morning at 9:30 Pacific, and we'll cover Del Mar's Sunday card. That's just as good. So we'll see you tomorrow. Good luck today, and we'll have to do that paddock show one of these days. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll start thinking about that and see what we can do. But we'll see you later. Good luck today as well. Bye.
Good luck, everyone.
You know what? Whack this. Don't call me and say you're having